No worries, we got you. Hey, everybody. It is all the way live on a Saturday with your boy, David. And as you can see, we got faces here today. This is a different implosion than normal because this is considered the special edition. So, first and foremost, I got my main man, D-Ray, the producer, in the building with me today. And our special guest is my man, D, from the DA Experience. D, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh man, the blessing is all ours. I'm doing well. D-Ray, I assume, is doing better. That he's got a fresh cup of Joe.
Oh, you know it's gonna be at least 45 seconds before it infuses into my cells. So you know.
Understood. So D, if you could be so kind, introduce yourself to the people. Let them know about the DA Experience.
Okay, like I like to say, I'm 42. I'm an 80s baby from Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up on the west side of Baltimore. And at a young age...
Stop the show. Just stop the show. Did you say Baltimore?
Baltimore, born and raised. Let's go Ravens. Let's
go. I knew
it. You're in the presence of a Steelers fan, so.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm off now. You should have told me that to begin with. Oh, man.
I knew I should have asked you what you was first.
Check was already cashed. Sorry, you guys got to rough it out.
I said it. I said,
you're dirty for that, Veep. You dirty for that one, man.
Hey, there's a way into everything. But anyway, so now that you know D-Ray, so please finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
So, like I said, at a young age, I realized that I love pop culture. My dad said he always made the mistake of putting me in front of a TV when I was a baby, and that gave me a love of television, cartoons, movies that I have to this day. Growing up, I was never a big reader. Did not like to read.
I can agree with that.
And then my mother decided to give me a few comic books, and my cousins got into comic books. And, just like anybody else that age, I just like the pictures. I like the action and stuff.
Of course.
But then I actually started reading them and enjoying the stories, and I became a comic book head. As I said, for years, I've been a comic book reader, but I never was a collector. So over the last 2 years or so, I've changed my idea of, I'm just going to be like everybody else talking about movie reviews and the MCU and the DC movies. And I'm actually going to focus on helping people grow their comic collection and their knowledge about the history of these characters. And then this past February, I was like, well, nobody's talking about these obscure Black characters or the history of some of these characters or where they came from or their creators. So I'm going to start talking about that. And that's blown up. And I've now been doing that just about every day. I talk about something different. Sometimes I throw some stuff in there about stuff when I was a kid, like growing up Black. I was like, I didn't have cable. So did anybody else watch this show? Yeah, I know it's the most vanilla male show in the world, but I know I can't be the only one that was watching the show. And people are like, oh my God, you used to watch PBS? You watched Are You Being Served and Doctor Who? You watched Red Dwarf? So I'm finding that connection with people that it's like where you grew up, you had this same experience. And I just like kind of finding people in growing that atmosphere. We're all the same. We all grew up a little bit different, but we all had the same taste and stuff. And it doesn't have to be this division of, oh, I'm from here and I'm this type of person. But I'm like, yeah, but you still have certain aspects of you growing up that were like mine. And let's talk about that. Let's have fun with that. Let's make fun of that. So that's what the experience is about. Like, I want to show my experience of what it was like when I was a kid, and I want to know if that was like that for anybody else, or even now up until like my 40s. But there's also like a comic side because I'm a comic book geek as well. So it's like, hey, you ever heard about this character? Did you know about this? This happened in your favorite movie. This happened after this. Let's talk about it. Let's have some fun. That's the main thing.
That's what's up. Go ahead, D-Ray.
You know, I feel the need to introduce him to our resident know-it-all in pop culture, Lena. This would almost be like the keymaster and the gatekeeper in Ghostbusters. It might open up the gates of Gozer if we get them two together.
As Cap said, I get that reference. I get that
reference. Yes, we have a fellow podcaster who nerd culture, comics, and all those things. She gets it, and she's actually an artist as well. Illustrator would be the proper term, D-Ray?
Visual artist. Don't get her started.
Understood. But a great creativity and a great imaginative mind she has. So definitely you two it'd be a severe chop up. It'd be like, wow, what about this and that and this? So speaking of these type of things, I wanted to do a what to keep and what to get rid of. Now, I know you're younger than me. Do you remember a lot of the 70s great shows that they had back then?
Yeah, I know a little bit about the 70s and the 80s. My dad turned me on to Shaft and Superfly. I got a Superman comic in here that they did. The covers were based off of old posters, and Superman's cover was based off of Superfly. And I had that hanging in my room. So
he's from Baltimore. He was plus 10 when he was born, so we the same age.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much, yeah. I came out and you gotta know, yeah. That's
got it. So check it out.
When I was 20, people thought I was 30, so he's right on that one.
So check it out. These are 70 of the greatest TV shows. Just some. There was a whole lot, and we're only supposedly an hour show, but here's some that I want you to think about. And which one would you get rid of? Ultraman. Remember Ultraman?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Battlestar Galactica. Star Trek. This is the original Captain T. Kirk and all of the crew. The original Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno. Space 1999. The $6 million. Yeah. $6 Million Man.
Uh-huh.
And the last but never least, Kung Fu with David Carradine.
Okay. Which one would I get rid of?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw Space 1999 to the side only because I don't know that show. So I can't really say I get rid of it because I don't know it. The ones I know, I would probably get rid of Battlestar Galactica. I never got into it. It was just a little too off kilter. Like, it just never got going. Never really seemed like there was enough danger. Star Trek holds a great place in my heart because, like I always tell everybody, I didn't have cable. So on a Saturday around 2 o'clock, they playing Star Trek and my butt sitting there watching a horror. Like, why she got to wash over? Like, every time she on screen, it's sprinkles and stars all around her. And I'm sitting there like, I don't realize this woman is now 50 years old. This is 1969, 1970. And I'm sitting there like, God, I want to meet Nichelle Nichols, so.
She was fine as all get up, no doubt.
Right. Ultraman was my introduction to that side of like the Japanese culture outside of anime. I remember watching like the movies that would come on and they would have Ultraman fighting these different kaiju and stuff. So yeah, if I had to get rid of anything, it would be probably Battlestar Galactica because I can't say I actually watched the entire episode all the way through. Like, I know about the little robot and what was his name, Starbuck or something like that. Like, I know stuff about it. I know they remade it. I know the remake was great.
Yeah.
But I never watched the remake. But I know that they did remake it. But yeah, it's got to be Battlestar Galactica. That just wasn't me.
Now, the thing I remember as a kid was like the introduction to how poor cell batteries were because Ultraman would get into a fight and his damn light blinking already that he's losing power. I'm like, this dude gave me stress as a kid, man. And I think that's why everything like we were talking about battery, 50% you get charged. I don't care. We're not messing with you like that.
Are we just asking him, or is this a discussion question for all of us?
Oh, this is for all of us. Go ahead.
Okay, because there was one show that you described.
Mm-hmm.
It's a white man in the Old West.
Mm-hmm.
In the Old West, that for whatever reason is a kung fu master.
Yes.
Yeah, that's got to go.
That's false advertising, right?
Yeah, that's got to go. That's got to go.
Let's give D a second. He might have got a call. We know how that goes.
We do indeed know how that goes. But Ultraman was that show, man. And
no doubt.
Right. And you're right. I guess they did it on purpose because they had to have some kind of drama. It's like, Ultraman is dead. Ultraman is dying. So
that used to be my show. Now, $6 million Man is the only show that you think someone is going fast when they're moving slow. Remember that?
Facts. And then it was that sound that we all tried to do on the playground.
The friggin' Max Payne video game based it off of $6 Million Man. Had to.
Right.
You got him?
I'll get him. Once he gets situated.
Phone overheated. You were talking about battery life, and my phone straight up overheated as I got a phone call and I couldn't get back in.
Yeah, phone call always kicks you out. It's all good.
I was like sitting there like, why can't I answer the call and why can't I get back in? I'm like, oh, so the phone overheated or something.
Oh goodness, sorry about that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead to the next option. We're gonna talk about 80s. Okay. Now I'm gonna give honorable mentions to The Cosby Show and Married with Children because those shows were just classics. But we're not dealing with those. We're dealing with action. So, Quantum Leap, Knight Rider, A-Team, Airwolf, MacGyver, 21 Jump Street, and just two more. We got V, and we have Mystery Science Theater 3000.
If I had to get rid of anything, and people will probably kill me for this, I would get rid of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Really? I liked the show, but I just couldn't, like, it doesn't hold a place like the other ones. Even Airwolf, I remember watching in syndication. Like, I never saw it when it originally aired, but I saw it Channel 54, and, you know, here come the helicopter. I'm like, how does this helicopter get into a fight every week? I don't understand how you, like, so.
Someone to pick a fight with always.
Always, like, he always finds somebody he can pick a fight with, and they happen to have a plane that can go toe to toe with them.
Right.
So MacGyver became like a meme. Like, you want MacGyver your way out of that one. So I'll watch that every Monday.
Right.
But Mystery Science Theater was something. When I was there with somebody's house that had cable, because it came on Comedy Central back in the day for me. And that was the only time I saw. Now, it was my introduction to some of the worst movies of all time, and I loved the whole riffing. You know, like Manos, Hands of War, and Santa Claus versus the Martians and stuff like that. So it let me know there were just bad movies out there, and you could just make fun. It gave me my love of, like, people like, I don't like something. I'm like, for me to not really like something, it has to be terrible, because if I can find a way to watch a movie, then I'm still having fun. Like, it might have been made to be a drama, but if I'm watching it as a comedy and I'm still having fun with it, I'm like, I enjoyed it for that reason. So that gave me that love. It's like, yeah, you can watch a bad movie and just riff on that movie and have a good time with it. But I just didn't watch it enough. So I would have to get rid of Mystery Science Theater.
I got you. What about you, D-Ray?
It's easy. 21 Jump Street, gotta go.
No, probably second.
Yeah, 21 Jump Street, gotta go. You mean to tell me what kind of SAT scores that these kids get? They couldn't tell that these were some full-grown cops walking through the high school.
I feel you. My goal way out of this compilation will probably be Quantum Leap. I never really got into it as much as other people did, but man, between Airwolf and A-Team, those were like my shows. I used to love me some A-Team, especially because Mr. T he was up there. That was his status at that time. And then he did Rocky. Forget about it.
Okay, I'm about to throw a grenade in the conversation.
Go ahead.
Airwolf versus Blue Thunder.
Airwolf, only because I know it more. just
y'all
because
remember
like,
Blue Thunder?
I know Blue Thunder, but I watched Airwolf more, so I'm just gonna go.
Okay,
Airwolf.
so for the uninitiated, for whatever reason, the 80s was full of TV series with killer helicopters, right? On one hand, you had Airwolf that had like missiles and could go like Mach 2 or whatever. Then you had Blue Thunder that was used by LAPD that was all bulletproof and had like 50 caliber guns on the front of it.
Sheesh.
Right. And it could do a loop-de-loop. So
was Blue Thunder
it started off as a movie and then it became a series.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Airwolf was CBS's competition to the Blue Thunder series.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense. Okay.
It was either killer helicopters or killer cars. It was one of the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Airwolf didn't talk like Kit did for Knight Rider, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. So it didn't have its own AI. Okay. Got it.
Right.
All right. So now, last one. We're going to do 90s.
Oh, boy.
Star Trek Voyager. Hercules with my man Kevin Sorbo. Xena. I used to love Xena. Sliders. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And Stargate SG-1.
Okay, I can't do this. I just can't do it.
Am I going first?
Go ahead, you're the guest.
It's Stargate SG-1. It's another one of those where, like, I just didn't watch it enough. Like, the other ones were all on regular television. Stargate SG-1 was on Showtime. So not only did you have to have cable, you had to have premium cable to watch Stargate SG-1. And I didn't get cable until like 1995, 96. I sure as heck didn't get Showtime until like the 2000s. So
that's a double whammy.
Right. Only time I saw Stargate is when it moved off of Showtime and was on Sci-Fi. And by that point, they were already in like season 6 or 7. So, you know, it was like, I love the fact that the dude that was on there is now the voice of Kratos in God of War. Oh, that's crazy.
Right.
It is crazy.
But
no, sorry. Keep going.
I can't. I literally can't pick. I like literally cannot pick. Like maybe maybe Sliders, maybe if I had to get rid of one, but like, you know, Xena was part of my personal development, and I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Lucy Lawless, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, and a lot of kids rejoice, and of course, Star Trek Deep Space Nine don't get touched because the Black Coalition
exactly. I was like,
looking at it.
That's the first black captain. I'm like, I get kicked out of the South because I get rid of Deep Space Nine. Cisco for life.
Captain Cisco? Wait.
Look, Deep Space Nine, aka Hawk in space.
Right.
Exactly.
James was not James Avery. I forgot something with an A though. I want to say
it was Avery. It was Avery.
Avery Brooks.
Either Avery Brooks or Avery Jones.
Avery
Brooks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Avery Brooks all day. Like, I ain't getting rid of Deep Space Nine.
Yo, he was a bad actress, boy. He played no games.
None.
He was on that shit. He was like, I will take us to war. I don't care. He was like, I don't care.
I will quote Shakespeare as I do it.
And then there's two different versions. Once they let him, like you said, become Hawk, once he brought that bald head back, everybody be like, oh, it's over. Like, don't even start with this man right now. He is not for the games today. He is not at all.
Not at all. Thanks for playing with that, man. So, if superheroes had a therapy group, who do you think would need the most counseling? And then who would be surprisingly the well-adjusted member?
Most counseling, God. Technically, probably if it's not
Batman.
if not him, it'd be Bruce Banner because that dude got psyche is so broke it ain't even funny. Like He's actually gone to therapy, and every time something bad in his life happened, he created a new Hulk. Like he got 20 different personalities at this point. So yeah, if I had to say most well-adjusted to play off of Batman, I'd probably say Nightwing. Nightwing is probably the most well-adjusted superhero out there. Like he's realized what his life was, even with his parents dying. He still keeps a smile on his face, and he's like, you know what? We're going to take a step back. We're going to talk this out, and then we're going to go from there. Like he's pretty like on the level.
Okay. What about you, Deere? Who do you feel?
Well, you know how I feel about Batman, so you know that's the answer to that one because Batman is actually crazy.
Yo, he's a straight up nut.
Yeah, but he's a well prepared nut.
Right.
So. For some reason, I can relate to that. As far as well-adjusted, I don't know. Trying to think.
There's a lot to pick from.
Maybe Superman might be the most well-adjusted.
That's true.
Because there is nothing in his psyche, unless something happened to Lois. There's really nothing in his psyche that makes you think, oh, he ain't got it all, right? He's just an alien, you know, that can respin the earth. I don't know. But that would be my immediate answer because, as far as I'm concerned, I was attracted to all of the superheroes that had problems. So,
the more nuttier, the more better.
Absolutely.
That's why definitely Deadpool needs beyond counseling. That dude, you got issues.
I forgot about Moon Knight. So him too.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Moon Knight definitely needs some therapy.
Well-adjusted member for me would be Charles Xavier. He just seems like he has the answer for everything.
He got issues though. He got issues.
Oh, sure.
He's one of those closeted people that like the second something go wrong, he cracks. Like his facade starts falling apart real fast. And there's a reason why all of them say Professor X is a jerk. So it's like he lets you think he got it all together, and then somebody like tells him no, and he like, no, what the hell you mean no?
Right. Because he's the king.
No.
He's the king of petty.
Right. He's the king of petty. Like, I can make you do what I want. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. So let's say if you have a dinner party with 3 comic book characters, who would they be, and what do you think the conversation would be like?
Definitely, I would want T'Challa. I would love to have the Black Panther there, and to play off of him, I'd love to have Icon there because a lot of people don't realize that Icon was like a Republican. Icon was like for a lot of stuff. Like the comic was made to paint him differently. Like people think the comic was called Icon, but it was actually about Rocket changing Icon's mind because of the way he viewed society and Black people in society. So to make it, to have that volatile person in there, I'd probably throw Luke Cage in there to play off of all 3. I could see him and Icon going back and forth, him telling T'Challa, you being too nice. I could definitely see, and I guess I just want that conversation. Like I know they all could keep their temperament, but I know it would get heated, but in a way like we're debate, like going from talking to debating. It would never go into a full-fledged fight, but it would get beyond just let's just talk and keep it subtle. Let's actually have a debate about some things based off of where we all come from. Because Luke Cage came from the hood, T'Challa's a king, Icon is this, alien. He's not even a part of it, but he represents what he thinks Black people should be, and Luke Cage represents something else. So yeah, that's my 3.
Okay. What about you, D-Ray?
Of course, it would be the aforementioned Batman, along with Iron Fist, and along with Tony Stark. Right? You got 3 of the richest people ever.
It took me a second to get the connection. I was like, what? Why Iron Fist? The second you said Tony Stark, I was like, oh yeah.
You got 3 of the richest people ever, 2 of which are alleged martial art masters, and another 2 of which are masters of gadgets.
Yeah.
So I just want
to some ideas. They could definitely get some ideas going.
or it would be a fight scene to end all fight scenes.
I was gonna say, is there really a need for a table and be able to sit and eat?
I mean, both of them pretty much kicked Tony right at the beginning, like before he could even get the suit on, and then it's just Iron Fist and Batman at that point.
And then the script would only have 2 words: "Yo, mama," and then it's on.
There it is. I agree with T'Challa. I definitely would love to chat with him, and I also agree with Luke Cage because I'm a fan of Luke Cage. The third one, I would actually like Storm to be there because I'm such a fan of Storm, and I know T'Challa and her had a thing going on, so it should be pretty smooth.
See, you're just trying to see people put their dirty laundry out there in the street. So Storm and T'Challa get up there arguing about their relationship or the lack thereof.
Then it'll be just me and Luke chatting.
I'm still mad that they made them get divorced. Like everybody else can stay together, but I hate to be that guy. Like one Black couple, y'all break them up. Like really?
right.
I don't want to be that guy, but it's like, yo, like y'all got Reed and Sue here arguing every other day. He 20 years older than her, but they can make it work every time. But these two, like, it's completely annulled. Like, they'll never get back together again. And I'm like, there was so much potential there that y'all just left on the table.
So, another hypothetical. Even though we know Marvel is not going to recast T'Challa, I wanted to know, who do you guys have in mind would make a great replacement, actor-wise, for T'Challa?
Well, technically they can, because we're doing some timey-wimey stuff right now. And at the end of, well, if anybody watching, spoilers, so couple years. At the end of Wakanda Forever, his son's name is T'Challa. So they got around that. So they can definitely do that. And with them doing this whole Young Avengers thing now, it's like, hey, that movie might not come out for another 5 years. You know, we don't know how old this little boy is. He might have been, well, we know he's like about 5 to 10 maybe, you know, so he might be 15, 14 years old by then. But if they want to like bring somebody in from another universe, I would definitely I can't think of his name, but he's going to play Black Manta, and he was I might not be able to cast him because of the fact I think he's going to be Wonder Man. I'm not sure if that's still happening, but he was Black Manta, and he was also Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen show. Okay. He was back when people thought they might recast T'Challa, which I really feel they should have, only because the character's just needed. I got what they were doing, and I get you want to move the story forward, but I'm like, it's a character we need to see. That's just the case. But yeah, he was like my first choice to play the character. If not him, my second choice, again, can't think of his name, but you remember the movie Bird Box and came out with Sandra Bullock? Mm-hmm. The guy that was the love interest in that. Like, I think he was also in the Alien movie, but I think at the time, he hasn't done anything since, but I think he would have made a good T'Challa as well.
Okay. D-Ray, who do you have in mind?
I can't think of anybody. I do agree, and I'm trying to remember the actor that played Black Mantis. He would have been a good candidate, but this is almost like the problem DC ran into in the late 80s when it was clear they were going to have to recast Superman, right? Christopher Reeves was Superman.
Yeah,
from the late 70s to the late 80s. And so this is a problem. And it wasn't until Dean Cain came out in The Adventures of Lois and Clark, I think that's what it was called. Yeah. But that you really can get your mind wrapped around, okay, there's a new Superman, right? We're just gonna have to, they're gonna have to find a young actor to fill those shoes, but those are some mighty big shoes to fill.
And not just said that, a young actor, I know a lot of people want him to play Static, but again, if they do that 14 to 15, I think he's like 20 something now, he could play the black kid from Stranger Things. Like, I think if they want that young, they wanted to be his son and they wanted to be in Young Avengers, I think he would be perfect for that role. But also in my head, I want him to be Static. Like, I'm like, no, this kid is the perfect Static, or Static Shock movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now, I did a research on that very same question, and they had given a list of 10. One of them, they said Michael J. White, but I'm like, Michael's too old for that.
Too old.
He's too old for that.
50 years old. He's like 56, 60 years old almost.
They said Idris Elba, and I'm like, he's too old.
Too old, right.
So out of them, there were 3 that I picked that I like. One is Derek Luke.
But Derek Luke's already in the MCU, though. Correct.
So that won't work. Then it's my man, Jamon Oson. Was it Oson? He looks like he could play DMX or something like that.
Yeah.
At least to me, he did.
But
and then go ahead.
Well, real quick, he's also already in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he's one of the.
He doesn't look it, but he's a lot older than people think. He's like 55, 60 years old.
He looks great.
I definitely think he should have been cast because he's the only one that's actually. I think he's actually from Africa. So. And he did play T'Challa because he was the voice of T'Challa in the cartoon that played on BET.
Gotcha.
But I think he would make a good uncle. Like, I agree with you though. If he was like 5 years younger and he hadn't already been to MCU, I think he would have been perfect.
I think it's this guy you were talking about. This is David Oyelowo, I believe.
No,
is how you
not him.
pronounce it.
But yes, that's my second pick. Yes, that's what I would like to say.
He's aggravating.
He played Martin Luther King.
Yeah, he's aggravating as an actor. Every time I see him, I don't know why. He's just aggravating to me. I can't put my finger on it.
Now the funny thing is, well, that's what I was going to say. The funny thing is most actors that are normally a PETA, pain in the ass, or a pain in the neck, or whatever, until they put their shoes into a character, they bring life to it. Because let's be real, nobody knew about Robert Downey Jr. until he became Tony Stark, and then poof, he is Tony Stark.
His career, he was almost like his career was done. Like he hadn't had a movie in years. He had been to rehab a whole bunch of times. But when they cast him, because I'm like, I knew what he looked like. I'm like, nah, they put that goatee on him. He looks like Tony Stark in the comic. So I didn't care that like how he acted. He killed the role, but I'm like, no, he looks like Tony Stark. And my dad was like, why would they get this no name? I was like, because he looks like him, you know. So that's why that's the way they were drawing him. But he did such a great job. It was like, oh, okay, yeah.
His arrogance was top of the roof. He did great. I thought he nailed who that character needs to be. So listen, we're gonna take a moment, and every time during our show, we have a halfway point where we do what's called the Blast Artist Spotlight, and we spotlight one of our artists to give them exposure, which is what we do here at Blast Music. So today is our boy Mike Jeezy, and the name of this song is called Energy. Check it out.
Make sure you keep that same energy. 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 Mike G coming through the crowd raw, big dog. You don't really wanna feel these claws. See, God loves me anyway, despite these flaws. So I gotta get a little buck wild, yeehaw. My God giving y'all the blessings, so I never tap out. No time for stressing. I'm confessing that I'm still learning lessons. When I get knocked down, get up stepping, cause I know how my blessings flow. Started from the ground down to the tiptoe. Holy Spirit, you don't wanna miss this flow, cause I'm talking about you and the whole trio. The Father's on top and they call me mijo. For my Latino, this Jesucristo. My God's bilingual, so if you didn't know, I'ma speak English, me amigo. Make sure you keep that same energy. 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 Make sure you keep that same energy.
Somebody tell me whose man's is this? Flip flop, they crisscross, wanna jump when they plotting the whole twist. Well, hey, Mr. Big Stuff, now tell me who you think you are. Call Gene Knight, cause you know you're dismissed. I got a lot of enemies, they draining my energy, but telling my energy is inside of my energy. If I'm at a dead end, I'm counting on real friends, the type that will help you and open the Red Sea. Never make a promise that you can't keep. Nobody really likes to bluff, that's a wave so deep. If you're gonna repent, then I suggest an upkeep. And if that energy drained, then throw away the whole thing. Sometimes you gotta cut the cord to keep moving forward, to be a valuable piece within this gaming board. What's done in the dark is brought to the light, it's heads or tails. So tell me how you call it, alright? Listen, hot or cold, ain't no man in the middle, cause if it gets spit out, ain't no stopping this riddle. You're headed on a dead end, on a one way. I know you see the sign, read it what the Lord say. On the periodic table, I'm an element, and me and God got a chemistry. So next time you ever think about attacking me, well, make sure you keep that same energy. 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 Yeah, I'm living for God for real. I go fishing for real. I'm like a Navy SEAL, toting that Pelican bill. I'm just a kid full of Skittles, no riddle, it's simple. I love them with all of my energy. I get empty. In the forefront, I'm up on my tips. I think I saw Jesus in my dreams. Oh, you don't believe? Oh, that's sweet, honey, please. I get hyped through the night. Oh, my energy gon' spike. Oh, I think I see the light. Make sure you keep that same energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Make sure
Yes, indeed. That is our boy Mike Jeezy with energy. And if you are a spoken word poet, up and coming comedian, or an artist who wants some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But listen, Blast also needs the fans. So if you like to hear great music, just like you did with Mike Jeezy, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register as well and have access to hundreds and hundreds of music. Blast, changing the industry one artist at a time. All righty. So let's see what else I got up on here. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, bro. If a comic book character had to participate in a reality show like Survivor, which hero or villain would be the ultimate strategist, as well as get voted off the island first?
I hate to keep going back to him, but I would say like he grew up with that. It would be T'Challa. Like it's like you gotta get rid of him. But since I can't say him, I'm gonna go with Captain America, Steve Rogers. I mean, there's a reason why everybody defers to him on the field. He is a strategy is what he does. So it's like, yeah, he's gonna be he's made to live that type of thing. So it's like, nope, we gotta get him out of here first. Everybody's gonna vote him off. So if it was hero. If it's villain, it's Lex Luthor. It's like, yeah, he just knows he's a sociopath. So he would know how to play that politic game. The people know he's smarmy. They know he's bad, but he's still going to get those votes. They're like, I'm the best person for you. Like, I'm not strong. I don't do any of this, but he's going to use that brain. So they got to get him off there first. So villain, Lex Luthor, hero would be Captain America.
Wow. What about you, D-Ray?
Well, you know, I'm trying to stop repeating Batman, but y'all all know this is why Batman is king. However, I will say the first one to get voted off, I'm gonna throw you a curveball. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Jonah Hex would be the first one to get thrown off.
Dang.
That is a curveball.
Because if for nothing else, when the lip that's connected, people get tired of seeing that and be like, you got to go, because I'm tired of seeing it. I don't know why you just don't cut that.
Damn.
But anyway, so yeah. I'm going to go back.
It's his skin. That's his mouth. That'd be the
it's
work.
like, no, you got to do something about
you
that.
talking about cut is this part right here.
No, you got to do something about that. Go talk to the Joker. Go talk to the Joker and get one of them smiles cut in, because you got to do something. That's the thing.
He's from the 1870s. You know, if you got messed up, you got messed up. There was no plastic surgery back then.
Man,
yeah, they wear them scars proudly.
Look, you better go get one of them red hot knives and go for what you know, man, because you got to go.
Then you really will be walking around looking like the Joker. You're just gonna have a constant smile, teeth, just teeth everywhere. Like, oh shoot, here comes Joker. He always smiling. Teeth.
Facts.
Just teeth and mouth.
It's kind of like a tie for both in this aspect for me. Meaning, Dr. Doom, great strategist, but at the same time, you got to get that clown out of here.
Right. That's what I said about like it'd be Cap. Like you got to get him out.
Yeah. So that's where he'd be coming in and leaving at the same time. These are some crazy questions. Comic book characters went on a road trip. Who would be the DJ in the car, and whose superpower would be the most useful during that journey?
All right. This is going two. I'm keeping it with the theme here. I would say that if it's a super DJ, I definitely have Miles Morales, Spider-Man as DJ. I know he's got a good sense of music.
Yes, he
does.
does.
Play the video game. He grew up in that old school house, so he's gonna have a mix of the new stuff with the 80s stuff, with the old 50s, 60s stuff. So he's gonna be good. Best person to have on this thing will be Static. Those electrical powers, those phones are gonna die. If you got that hybrid car, that Tesla, yeah, you don't gotta do the supercharge.
You're good.
You know, it's you good to go. If you got an electric car, it's like, hey man, we ain't never gotta fill up. He just sitting there holding the battery the whole time. The man is a walking battery. So if not Static, Black Lightning. I'm like, you know, so you're gonna have some nature in there. So yeah, it'd be Static. I would love to see a car trip with Static and Miles Morales. I think they would get along great, and I think that would just be an awesome adventure.
What about you, D-Ray?
I feel like I'm the troublemaker on this podcast. Shockwave from the Decepticons
Okay.
and Thanos.
You bringing in the heavyweights. so educate. Your reason.
Can you imagine if Thanos was your DJ and you
I
didn't?
thought Shockwave was
And you
DJ.
no. Shockwave is we're just using his powers to amplify
Oh, okay.
Thanos' mission.
Oh
But
my
can you
God.
imagine you don't dance to DJ Thanos? Oh, I got a hit for you.
Hey, there it is.
He wound
You're done.
up playing some Johnny Mathis or something. You sitting there like he's like, I will snap. You either start dancing or I will snap.
You know what I
right
mean?
now. I will do it. I will do it right now.
That's
You up there,
right.
man, this ain't even got no beat. I don't know how I'm supposed
Oh,
to do this. Like,
you better do something. You better do something.
he's like, these
So-
are great beats, huh? I was like, yeah, these are great. Man, get him off the damn Oxford.
Like, yeah, these are great. These are great.
You over there like, where we going? California? Oh God, that's a 27-hour trip. Like, oh God.
Mm-mm.
Now, in my case, the DJ. That's a good question on the DJ. I'll leave that up to my man Luke Cage, since he's from Harlem. You know, we got some dope tracks over there. As far as a useful superhero, you guys remember Dazzler?
Yeah.
He got those light effects when music is going. I bet you that's a dope thing right there. So those are my two picks.
You go on with the light show. Okay.
Oh yeah. Let me ask you this, D. Do you remember these characters?
Yeah. I definitely remember those characters.
Who we got?
That's Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, as he's called now, Shazam. Back then he was Captain Marvel. That's
Right.
Isis. And I want
Yes.
to think that that's Captain Marvel's Uncle Dudley. I'm not positive on that one.
What'd you think, D-Ray?
All I remember was Shazam and Isis. I don't know who that other dude is.
My behind talk about Captain Kangaroo.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I agree with you, D. I do not know who that was, so I was trying to find
sure
it.
if memory serves me, it's playing into the comic, and Billy Batson was adopted by his Uncle Dudley, who later became like Uncle Marvel or something like that, like in the comics back in the 40s and 50s. So I'm thinking that's who that is, because that's who it looks like. So I'm thinking it's Uncle Dudley.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
positive.
I hear you. I had fun searching that up, and I found that picture, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
I
that
wanted
was
to
a
ask-
Shazam show.
Yeah,
Shazam Isis Power Hour or something like that.
I used to love Shazam as a kid. I don't know.
Shazam was a character I wasn't even introduced into until later in my life, because around that time, that's when they lost the rights to the character. They were fighting with DC because, he became more popular than Superman. So that's how they actually lost the Captain Marvel name to Marvel, because Fawcett Comics was in such a legal battle with DC that they forgot to re-trademark the name Captain Marvel, and Marvel Comics jumped in and stole it. So that's why they had to start calling him Shazam in the comics, but he was still Captain Marvel. He could still be called Captain Marvel in the comics. The comic couldn't be called Captain Marvel, though. It had to be called Shazam, which was confusing everybody. So about 10 years ago, they said, forget it. He's just Shazam. It's just Shazam. There ain't no Captain Marvel no more.
That is crazy. And the funny thing is from everything I've been watching you share, DC and Marvel has had a lot of legal issues because of things being said and naming this character this and that. That's just crazy. But
I mean, there's fights for the rights of who owns the characters dating all the way back to even before Superman, because these kids that they hired just create these characters and they bought them for nickels on the dollar, and now some of these characters are worth literally billions of dollars, and these families aren't seeing any money from that. And I think Marvel's going through something now in Disney, because all the families that created Black Widow and a couple other characters, those rights are coming back up. So now they're fighting to keep those characters, because DC has already lost the rights to Superman and Superboy. They have to write that this character appears because of the Schuster family, because they owe them all that money because they legally own the characters. So DC's technically leasing out aspects of Superman and certain characters. So it's weird that these contracts, they have to make them ironclad that the person can't come back later and like, hey, I need some money for what y'all did, which is about the story I did the other day, was what happened to Mark Wolfman after Blade became a hit. He came back and the court was like, no, the movie version is so much different than your version. They don't owe you anything. So,
but it's funny, if I could piggyback on what he just said.
Yeah,
U.S. copyright law is that the copyright extends 100 years after the death of the original author, and so this was what threw Disney into a tizzy because Mickey Mouse was about to approach public domain
next year.
Which means that anybody can go to your t-shirt press and make your own Mickey Mouse shirt because it's in the public domain now.
Well, it's a technicality.
Right.
They can only use the Steamboat Willie version of the character.
Absolutely. That's
so
right.
Yes, at that point, now, anybody can
right.
take that Steamboat Willie cartoon and put it on their YouTube page. And there's a version of Superman that DC doesn't own. His name is back in the 50s, they used to have the Max Fleischer cartoons, where he was like fighting monsters and he was always jumping and stuff like that. There was a copyright issue there. So DC and Warner Brothers don't own those cartoons. That's why you should always see them on those tapes that have the 100 greatest cartoons, and his Superman cartoons will be on there because he's in the public domain. They can't do anything about it. But yeah, but the actual Superman, like you said, he's going to public domain next year, Batman in another 5 years. So all of these companies are trying to figure out ways of keeping these characters, which Disney did back in the day. He actually had, because I think it was only 50 to 75 years, and he got it extended to 100. But that is now it's 100 years later. So all these characters and all these movies, that's how Disney lost Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is public domain.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how they did that Pooh horror movie that came out last year.
But like you just said, the end around of that is that's why you see so many iterations of these superheroes. Yeah. Because once they create a new iteration of that superhero, that basically resets the clock. Right. Like
back to the Superman effect. It's like they only own the original part of Superman, but DC is the one that created like Kryptonite and Krypton and his origin. But the Fleischer family created Superboy. So, or the ability to fly, that came from like the radio show and stuff like that. So different parts of the character are owned by different people and different entities and stuff like that.
That is crazy.
Oh yeah, if you go into that copyright law of who was actually like, public domain characters and stuff. One of my biggest videos I did, the first black female superhero is in the public domain. Her name is the Butterfly. Came out in 1971, 72.
Wow.
Anybody can use this character. Anybody can make a comic book with this character. Nobody can say anything about it. Yeah. And some people have. Some people have already started putting her in their own independent comics.
That's dope.
Now, I will also say this before we move on. Another tactic that they use, they will trademark something that the superhero says.
Yeah.
Right? So if you go up and away, that's actually trademarked. So, so you can create a Superman, you just can't have him say up and away. Right.
Or you can create a Captain Marvel, but you can't have him say Shazam.
Absolutely. Right.
Got it. Yeah. That's okay. That's dope. All right, so check this out, my fellas. We all remember the iconic Halle Berry as Storm.
Boo.
I love Halle Berry in that movie. They did her dirty. And I'll talk about that story if you want me to. They did her dirty.
Well, you go ahead and tell us, and then we'll go on with the question. Go ahead.
Well, okay, I don't know if you saw it, but the video I did last week. Have you heard the story of why the director of X-Men 3 left the movie?
No.
All right.
Yeah, I heard that. Go ahead.
Okay, so Matthew Vaughn was supposed to direct the movie, right? And while he's there, they have this other script. He's like, well, what's that? And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. He was like, I'm the director. Let me read this script. So he gets the script and he's like, this is pretty amazing. It starts with Storm flying down to Africa and making it rain to give these villages water. And he was like, this is great, but I didn't write this and my people didn't write this. They were like, yeah, that's the Halle script. You see, Halle Berry hadn't signed on yet. So they were going to give her this fake script. And he was like, yeah, once she joins on the cast, we'll throw that out.
Damn.
And he said, y'all were going to do that to an Academy Award winning actress. Because Halle had already complained in the first two movies, which is why when you said boo, I'm like, that's not her fault. They ain't give her junk to do. It was like, she was like, I was tired of just flying the plane. So it was like she wanted more to do. And she wasn't going to come back for the third movie unless they had more for her character to do. So they created this fake script. And so he was like, no, I'm not doing her like that. I'm out. He left the project.
Wow.
I don't care. Boo.
Whatever. He's sour. Okay. So just like how we did with T'Challa, who would you typecast to replace?
They used the wrong word. They said typecast.
Typecast, literally.
Like, I don't want the person to play this character forever. I just, don't typecast. Okay. I don't want to only be stupid.
Because do you feel Halle Berry made Storm just like Tony did?
No, definitely not. Again, Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor who had a great script with somebody that actually understood the character. Jon Favreau was actually a fan of Iron Man. He understood Iron Man, which was what a lot of the early Marvel movies had going for them. The people writing them understood the characters and what the characters need to represent. I'm still enjoying the movies and stuff, but you can tell that they're now on this forward, let's push them out as fast as we can track instead of giving them the love that they really deserve. There are a few shining points in there, though, like Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. Like, she was perfectly cast. But no, I think I for one, I was just glad to have Storm on the screen. I, for one, always wanted Angela Bassett. I was like, she gave that power. Like, Halle has always come off as more soft, and that's her style. That's why she wasn't great Catwoman to me. It's like she doesn't give off that powerful demeanor. Like, I see her, and they gave her some parts. I'm like, okay, but Angela Bassett, it was like, no, I saw her as Tina Turner. I really believed that she would send a lightning bolt down and electrocute me. So back in the day, that was my casting for Storm back in the day. I'm trying to think of young up-and-coming black actresses now that I would like to see in a role. And I'm trying to think of...
Why you think? I got two.
All right.
That immediately popped in mind. First, Janelle Monáe, I think would make a really good Storm.
Yes, most definitely.
And now that Star Trek Discovery is coming to an end.
Yep, you're right.
Sonequa Martin Green would make a great Storm too. The only thing about those two is can they pull off an African accent, right? And that was kind of my problem with Halle. I didn't believe it, But
I don't think Halle even believed it because it went in and out. So it's like
exactly
she didn't even know what she wanted to be in the. But that again, I found out that wasn't her. That was the director telling her, "Oh, talk this way in some scenes and don't talk that way in other scenes," because he wanted to look like she was trying to fit in the United States in only moments where it came out. And they didn't convey that well. It just didn't come out.
Right.
So that wasn't her to me. That was a direction error to me. And I think your choices are really good. Because I know when they were saying about Wakanda Forever, they were like, Janelle Monáe is the front runner to play Storm. Back people thought the X-Men were coming like right now. So she's. I would have to agree with you. Yeah, Janelle Monáe most definitely. Like she is that person. If not her. God, I had her a second ago. Now I lost her. It'll come back to me.
Well, I agree with D-Ray. It was definitely my girl, Sonequa Martin Green. I love Discovery. She did an amazing job on the show. Well, that's what I was going to say. That's when I watched that show because of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
She got a glorified exit, got turned to a zombie. There you go.
I mean, everybody that left the show got turned into a zombie. It's like, you leaving? Fine. You ain't coming back. You ain't ever going to come back. You either get shot in the head or you get turned to a zombie. What's your choice?
Or if you do come back, you're coming back as a memory or a ghost.
Right. It's like nobody comes back. Nobody comes back. And then Andrew Lincoln was like, well, I'm leaving. They're like, all right, you can come back, but we're going to put you on a different thing entirely. You and Michonne, y'all too popular, so we can't kill y'all. But everybody else, no, you get shot in the head or you get made into a zombie. Pick your poison. Which way you want to go?
You get your eyeball beat out.
You're going to die. You're going to die. I take it back. You're going to die gruesomely, or you're going to turn into a zombie. It's like you get. What's your choice? What's your choice? Like
I'ma
they
tell you,
had to
man.
do old boy from Everybody Loves Chris like that. They had to have that boy get ripped apart like that.
I mean, even like Glenn had 9 lives till he met Negan.
Yeah,
Oh my
but that's how it
God.
was in the comic book. That's why when he died in the comic, because he'd always made it out. So you were like, oh, somebody's going to save them at the last minute, you know.
Nope.
And then you turn that page. I'm like, oh,
He
snap.
got beat to a pulp. Oh
So
my
when I
God.
saw it in the show, I'm like, no, don't do this. I mean, he's doing pretty good for himself if the rumors are true. So,
Man. So, ooh, bro, look, we already almost hit our hour.
I'm sorry, I might talk too much. I'm starting to get better at that. My bad.
Oh, no. You were good. You were good. Everything was perfect. Listen, tell people where they can find you, and especially to check out your awesome clips that you drop every week.
As one of my idols, Mel Brooks, once said, it's all about merchandising, branding. You can find me at the DA Experience on X, which used to be Twitter. The DA Experience on TikTok. There's a Facebook page, the DA Experience. And you can definitely find me on Instagram, where I post daily. As soon as I leave out of this, I gotta make my post for the day so I can keep my streak alive.
There it is.
The DA Experience. So yeah, anywhere there's a major social network. I think the only thing I ain't on is Reddit. You can find me.
That part. Well, listen, D, I appreciate your time, especially on a Saturday, to come hang with us. And all it takes is once. After that, you're considered family. So if there's anything Blast can help you with, whether you're going to be launching something or whatnot, you let us know. We got you covered, because that's how we do. That's how we treat family.
And because you are family now,
here we go.
No. I mean, I ain't gonna do it this time, but next time you on, I'm gonna have jokes. I'm gonna have all kinds of jokes.
This is what you gotta look forward to.
As a joke of a team, the Steelers are, right?
Oh my God.
Oh, see, you want to do that right here at the end, right? Hey, you want to do that right here at the end and see if there's a reason he got that bottle of Febreze in behind him. With the Ravens the Ravens stink. Run the credit.
That's why I live alone. I be funking this bitch up. Like, I live alone and it stink. I ran over there. Y'all saw when the dude was singing the song. I went and got some cookies. It's already starting to feel a little bad up in here.
You know what?
You see the McDonald's cup? That is not helping. I had to go to the bathroom the last 20 minutes. That's why I've been talking.
Information.
We appreciate your transparency. Well, everybody, we thank you so much for hanging out with us and clowning with us. But definitely check us next week. Correction. Next week's Thanksgiving. You ain't seeing me. You will see a replay. But we love y'all. Be safe. And remember, choose to be kind. Celebrate the difference to make a difference. Peace. Love y'all.
Have a good one.